Hi, my name is Kevin Rollins, and this is my teaching project for metabolic syndrome within the African American community. Here's my student ID. I want to first define metabolic syndrome. As a cardiac nurse, metabolic syndrome is something that's near and dear to my heart. Well, hopefully not too near and dear to my heart. But metabolic syndrome, or formerly known as Syndrome X, is a disorder that involves diabetes and the atherosclerosis that is a result of obesity that results to stroke and heart disease. I hope that through my teachings that I can better inform and better educate my patients and better inform and better educate the community, because what we do in the hospital obviously isn't working. I mean, I treat the same patients day in and day out for the same problems day in and day out. My project goal is straight up to establish better health within the community of inner cities. I do not want to see the continuation of poor eating habits to go on to the next generation. What we have right now is entirely frustrating. I hope that the future generations of Americans, which is white, black, red, yellow, I don't care which color it is that we are better fed and more healthier fed, because right now our food system is terrible. It is absolutely dreadful. I grow most, if not all, my food. I hope to re-establish that connection within the African American community, because that's something they didn't leave too many years ago. I mean, every African American within my age group can remember their grandparents growing their own food, because that's what their slave ancestors did. I mean, the collard greens growing in your front yard was not a big thing, and it's still not a big thing where I come from, because it is something that is quintessential to being Southern. It is something that is quintessential to being white, black, red. I don't care which color it is. In the South, you grow your own food, and it's something that our inner city has lost. The availability of the food system within these food deserts is disgusting. I mean, it's horrid. Why would we expect anything different within these communities if all we have is Cheetos and Slurpees? I mean, so my goal, my teaching objective is to establish community gardens within the inner city. This is through the Parks and Recreation system. And I mean, why do we need another seesaw or swing that is not being used? You know, why would we establish these food deserts and then have to pay for these communities that can't afford healthcare, period, and give them the poorest chance for health? I mean, it's ridiculous. We need to be able to allow these people in the inner city to have what everybody else has, and that's the ability to grow their own food. And I want to do this through a two-part method, which is, first of all, establishing community gardens within the school system. I don't care if it is a rural school. I don't care if it's an inner city school. I think growing your food is quintessential to any system, period. I would rather have that than music or art or, gym. It is something that is quintessential to us as human beings, is to grow our own food, especially as people in the South. I feel that teaching children from a young age to grow their own food is something that will healthfully alleviate some of these metabolic syndromes that we see in older age. Gardening is something that is enjoyable by all. It is something that burns calories, and it provides a better food source than what we see at the local 7-Eleven. I mean, to establish these gardens would be minimal at best, because it would be upkeep of the people who chose to do it. Mowing a baseball field or upkeep of a basketball court is way more expensive to the society than giving people what they want, which is the ability to feed themselves. And I think that once you give people that ability, they will relish in it. My teaching methodology isn't difficult. It's providing people the ability to feed themselves. I think that it is something that is innate in all of us, is to feed ourselves. And I think if we could do it generationally through this system, that it would better establish food that is not available currently within these systems, within the inner city. Because I hope that my system will be something that is long-lasting. It's something I enjoy. It's something that I enjoy doing. It's something I enjoy teaching. I grow most of my own food, and that it is something that I think that anybody would enjoy, is looking down at the product they have made through their own sweat and blood. Is this food that grew out of the ground from just a little seed to feed themselves and their children and their children's children. And through that system, we could better and more effectively feed ourselves. Because, I mean, people use food stamps for garbage. Establishing a healthy eating system is something that we need to do systemically as a society, not something that's done through welfare. The way I would like to measure this through teaching effectiveness is merely the establishment of this system. If I could merely see the gardens being grown, if I could see what was once a, burnt down house bulldozed to earth again so that the community could use it effectively, that is the success of my system. And outreach to this system is merely pulling in these people's elders to show them how it was once done. I don't think that system is lost. I don't think that the need for human fingers to run through earth is something that is only I feel. I think that the pride in which, when you have that ability to grow your own food, and it's so much better than what you get at the store. It's the ability to see what you have done and then partake in it. And if I could only have one school that had children growing fruits and vegetables to feed their family that they could take home, and within that same school system, within that community, to have a community garden which they could grow into, to continue that process to better feed themselves and better feed their families, that's the only success I need. Because I don't need to know that that's a success, because it's a success in my own life. And I hope that I could better teach people to better feed themselves. That's the principle of my project. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.